You did not stumble onto this message. This message stumbled onto you. If your eyes are here right now, it is not by chance. It is not the random scroll of an algorithm. It is a calling. You are among the few who have been chosen to stand at the threshold of something extraordinary. The universe has placed you here because a hidden door is beginning to open, a passage between the life you have known and the reality that has been waiting for you. In the minutes ahead, you will discover the secret of the breakthrough frequency, the vibration that shifts you from wanting into receiving, from waiting into becoming. And once you hear it, nothing in your life will look the same again. There are moments in life when the familiar begins to crumble. Have you noticed it? A sense that the ground beneath your feet is no longer stable, that the structures you leaned on suddenly feel fragile. It might appear as endings, a relationship dissolving, a job slipping away, a long-held dream no longer resonating. Or it may feel like restlessness, an inner knowing that the world you've built can no longer contain who you are becoming. Most people fear these tremors. They interpret them as decline, as failure, as proof that life is falling apart. But the truth is far more mysterious. These cracks are the first signs of a breakthrough. Think of a seed pressed deep into the soil. From the outside, all you see is a shell breaking apart. To an untrained eye, it looks like death. Yet inside, the miracle of transformation is underway. The seed must surrender to this dissolution before it can pierce the surface and reach the light. The same is happening to you now. The breakdown you feel is not punishment, it is preparation. Pause here and feel into this moment. What if the uncertainty you've been resisting is not a barrier, but a signal? What if it is evidence that you are standing at the most sacred point in your journey, the threshold between what has been and what is about to be? Mystics throughout history spoke of this passage. They described it as the dark night before the dawn, the place where identity unravels so that a higher self can emerge. Quantum physicists describe something similar, the collapse point, where countless probabilities coexist until a single reality crystallizes. Though their languages differ, both are pointing to this moment you are now living. Visualize it. Before you stretches a vast cosmic gateway, swirling with galaxies and radiant light. Its edges pulse with energy, shimmering like the fabric of space itself is thinning. You may feel both fear and awe as you approach, because part of you knows, once you step through, nothing will ever be the same. This image is not fantasy. It is a mirror of your inner landscape. The threshold is real, and you are already standing in its glow. Yet here lies the challenge. Few make it across. Many cling to the collapsing structures of the old, mistaking the end of one chapter for the end of possibility itself. They retreat into safety, unaware that safety itself has already dissolved. But you are different. You are here, listening, because a deeper part of you recognizes that the shift is inevitable. What you are witnessing is not collapse in the sense of ruin. It is collapse in the sense of creation. Just as a star must implode before it births a new galaxy, your life is rearranging itself in order to make space for expansion. The pain, the uncertainty, the endings, they are all contractions before birth. Let this awareness sink in. The discomfort you feel is not a sign that you are lost. It is proof that you are in motion. The universe dismantles what no longer serves you, not to punish, but to prepare. Every wall falling around you is making room for the cathedral of your next becoming. So I ask you now, will you see this threshold as an ending, or will you recognize it as the beginning? The choice is yours, and yet, in a deeper sense, the choice has already been made by the part of you that led you here. You are not at the edge of decline. You are standing at the edge of your breakthrough. You may have noticed how life sometimes slows to a near halt after such a threshold reveals itself. Opportunities seem to pause. Conversations go silent. Days feel heavy with waiting, as if nothing is moving. And in that stillness, the mind panics. It whispers, something is wrong. Maybe I miss my chance. Maybe nothing is coming. But what if this stillness is not absence at all? What if it is the most sacred stage of creation? The mystics of old called it the pause before the dawn. The scientists of today call it superposition. Both are speaking of the same mystery. Before reality collapses into one form, it exists as many at once. Invisible, silent, pregnant with potential. Think of a particle in quantum physics. It is not here or there. It is not this or that. It hovers in many states simultaneously. Only when observed, only when consciousness engages, does it crystallize into one expression. Your life right now is just like that. What you dream of, what you have prayed for, what your heart aches to experience, it already exists in the invisible field. It flickers there, alive as possibility. And the silence you feel is the universe holding its breath, orchestrating unseen alignments too vast for your senses to perceive. Pause here with me. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing in a vast chamber of darkness. At first, it feels empty. But then, somewhere in that depth, a spark ignites. A soft white light, barely noticeable, like a candle hidden under layers of shadow. Slowly, steadily, the glow begins to expand. The shadows do not resist it. They dissolve, revealing that what you thought was void was actually womb. This is the sacred pause, not emptiness, but pregnancy. And yet, most people cannot endure it. They rush to fill the silence, to fix the stillness, to demand proof that something is happening. They refresh their emails, they search for signs, they cling to control. But in doing so, they interrupt the most delicate stage of creation. It is like pulling a seed from the soil to check if it has sprouted. The act of forcing destroys the miracle in motion. You are being invited to trust differently, to see silence not as rejection, but as incubation, to see waiting not as wasted time, but as preparation time. Think of music. A melody is not only notes, it is the pauses between them that give the song its rhythm, its depth, its emotion. Without the silence, the music collapses into noise. So it is with your life. The pause is not a mistake. It is the rhythm of your breakthrough. Think too of the caterpillar in its cocoon. From the outside, there is no movement, no visible sign of progress. To the untrained eye, it looks like nothing is happening at all. But inside, the entire body of the creature is dissolving and reorganizing. Cells are reshaping, wings are forming. If you cut the cocoon open too soon, you would see only fragments, the miracle unfinished. And so it is with you. This is why the pause feels so uncomfortable. Because it requires you to live with no evidence. It requires you to believe not in what you can see, but in what you can sense. It asks you to let go of your addiction to proof and to rest instead in trust. But understand this clearly, the pause is not punishment, it is protection. It is the universe guarding the fragile process of your becoming until it is strong enough to emerge. Right now, the stillness you feel is a sign that everything is aligning. People are being moved into place. Opportunities are ripening. Invisible threads are weaving your next chapter. Just because you cannot see it does not mean it is not real. In fact, the more invisible it feels, the more powerful it is. So when your mind shouts that nothing is happening, remember, silence is not emptiness. Silence is creation's most potent language. You are not being asked to do more, to force more, to prove more. You are being asked to trust the pause, to lean into it as though it were sacred, because it is. And here's the paradox. The more you honor the pause, the faster reality aligns. The more you resist it, the longer it stretches. This is not because the universe withholds, but because your resistance creates static in the signal. So take a breath now. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Feel the space between breaths, that quiet moment before the next inhale. That, too, is a sacred pause. And just as your body cannot live without it, your destiny cannot be born without this silence. You are not waiting for life to begin. Life is waiting for you to trust the pause. The most difficult lesson at the threshold is this: you cannot control the timing, the form, or the path of your breakthrough. And yet, this is exactly where most stumble. The closer their desire comes to manifestation, the tighter they grip. They start demanding proof. They ask for signs in the physical world, the message, the call, the bank account, the opportunity. They forget that the final phase of creation does not require control. It requires surrender. Think of a river. When you fight against its current, your arms ache, your lungs burn, and yet you make almost no progress. The harder you thrash, the more exhausted you become. But when you release into the current, the river carries you effortlessly. You move farther in minutes of surrender than in hours of struggle. Your desires flow like that river. When you grasp, you generate resistance. When you demand proof, you disturb the very waters meant to carry you. But when you let go, when you float, you allow the intelligence of the current to bring you exactly where you need to be. Here is the paradox that very few ever understand. Wanting pushes away, receiving draws in. Wanting says, "I do not yet have it. I am separate from it. I must chase it." And the universe, responding faithfully to your broadcast, mirrors back the energy of lack. Receiving says, "It is already mine. I open myself to it now." And the universe, again responding to your signal, mirrors abundance. This is not poetic metaphor. This is measurable energy. Thoughts of lack vibrate low. Fear, doubt, desperation resonate at frequencies around 100 Hz. Gratitude, joy, and trust vibrate around 500 Hz. When you dwell in wanting, your frequency is static. When you dwell in receiving, your frequency is coherent. And coherence is what collapses possibility into reality. Pause here and feel this truth. You are not trying to get something from the universe. You are allowing the universe to give something to you. Consider again the seed. It does not beg the soil to sprout. It does not demand evidence each day. It simply surrenders to the intelligence that created it, trusting the same force that spins galaxies and orchestrates the dance of atoms. If a seed can trust, why not you? The art of surrender is not weakness, it is alignment. It is saying, "I release my need to dictate how and when this must arrive. I trust the current to carry me to the exact shore I was meant to reach." And here is where the transformation begins. Surrender shifts your identity. When you stop clutching, you stop broadcasting lack. You begin to broadcast readiness. And readiness is the frequency that reality cannot resist. But let me be clear, surrender is not giving up. It is giving over. It is not abandoning desire. It is abandoning attachment. The seed still longs to be a tree, but it does not cling to how that must happen. So too with you. Your desires are sacred, but your attachment to the form is the chain that binds them. When you let go of how and when, you open the door to something far greater than your limited imagination could design. The universe can deliver what you could never have planned because it sees from a perspective beyond time. And this is where I invite you into practice. Close your eyes, take a slow breath. Imagine the river carrying you. Feel the release in your shoulders, the way your chest softens, the way your breath deepens. Whisper softly, "I trust the current." Now type these words in the comments below, not casually but as a declaration, "I am open to receive." As you write it, let your whole body feel the truth of it. Do not type with your fingers only. Type with your frequency. This simple act is not for the algorithm, it is for the field. It is your way of sending a clear signal. I release wanting. I embody receiving. Notice the shift as you do. The tension softens. the grip loosens. And in that space, the current flows stronger. Because here is the cosmic joke. What you have been seeking has been seeking you all along. But it could not reach you while you were busy chasing it. It could only arrive when you stopped running and opened your hands to receive. So I ask you now, will you keep swimming against the current, exhausting yourself in the struggle of wanting? Or will you release into the flow of receiving and allow the current to carry you into the life that has been waiting for you? The river is here. The current is strong. The only thing left is your surrender. There is a truth so profound, so often overlooked, that once you grasp it, you will never see life the same way again. Your future self is already reaching back to you. Not in metaphor, not in wishful thinking, in the literal mechanics of consciousness and time. Quantum physics teaches us that all possibilities exist simultaneously. Every version of you, the struggling self, the healed self, the abundant self, the self living in peace and freedom, all exist now, vibrating in the field of infinite potential. From the perspective of the quantum, time is not a straight line. It is a vast web of parallel timelines, each alive, each accessible. And here is the mystery. Your consciousness is already entangled with the version of you that has become what you desire. The bridge between who you are and who you long to be is not built in the future. It is alive in this moment, right now. Have you ever felt an intuition so strong it defied logic? A sudden pull to turn left instead of right, only to discover something significant waiting there. Have you had a dream that revealed an answer you had been seeking, or an unexplainable sense of knowing that came from nowhere? These are not accidents. They are transmissions. They are signals from your future self, echoing backward through the quantum field to guide you. Pause here. Let yourself remember a synchronicity that has touched your life. That perfect moment when the right person appeared, when the right words arrived, when the timing was too exact to be coincidence. At the time, you may have called it luck or chance, but now you can see it more clearly. It was your future self sending you a breadcrumb, a glowing thread to lead you toward the timeline where your desires already live. Visualize it now. Imagine yourself as you are, standing beneath a canopy of stars. Above you stretches the galaxy, vast and luminous, filled with countless constellations. Somewhere in that galaxy shines a star brighter than the rest, the star of your expanded self. From that star, a silver thread of light extends, weaving across space and time, connecting directly into your heart. This is not imagination. This is recognition. You have felt that thread before. Every synchronicity was the tug of that cord, pulling you toward your destined becoming. The reason synchronicities feel electric is because they are. They are quantum signals, collapsing probability into experience, affirming that you are aligning with the frequency of your future self. They are proof that you are not walking alone. But here's where most miss the gift. They dismiss synchronicities as coincidence. They explain them away, or they ignore them altogether. And when they do, they silence the very voice of guidance that is trying to lead them. You must learn to honor them, to treat them as sacred, to recognize each one as a conversation between you and your future self. The more you acknowledge them, the stronger they become. The more you ignore them, the quieter they fade. This is why your attention is everything. What you give attention to, you magnify. When you notice the synchronicities, you amplify the thread. You signal to the quantum field, yes, I am listening. Yes, I am willing. Yes, I am ready. And the field responds by sending more. Think of it like tuning a radio. At first, the signal is faint, filled with static, but when you fine-tune the dial, the voice grows clearer. So too with your future self. The synchronicities are faint whispers at first, but as you align your frequency, through trust, through openness, through surrender, the whispers become guidance, and the guidance becomes clarity. Here is a story. A man once dreamed of a cabin in the woods, a place he had never seen before. Months later, on an unexpected road trip, he felt compelled to take a turn down an unfamiliar path. At the end of the road stood the very cabin from his dream. Inside that cabin, he met a teacher who gave him the wisdom that altered the course of his life. Was this chance? Or was it his future self guiding him toward the place where his destiny awaited? Such stories are not rare. They are common, but most dismiss them as strange accidents. You will not. You are learning now to see with different eyes. Because the truth is, your future self is not separate from you. It is you. It is the part of you that already knows the way. And as you surrender control, as you allow yourself to be carried by the current, you will notice the thread of synchronicity shining brighter. It will guide you step by step across the threshold. So the next time you feel that unexplainable pull, that sudden spark of knowing, that coincidence too perfect to ignore, place your hand over your heart. Whisper, "I hear you, I trust you," and follow. For this is the art of co-creation across time. You are not trying to become your future self. You are aligning with it. You are listening to its signals. You are walking the bridge of synchronicities that was laid out long before you even knew to ask. And as you continue to follow, the path grows clearer, the timeline draws closer, and one day soon you will look around and realize you have stepped fully into the life your future self has been guiding you toward all along. There is a moment on every path of transformation when all the concepts, all the practices, all the insights converge into a single truth. And that truth is this: you do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. This is the hidden key, the secret woven into every wisdom tradition, every mystical teaching, every quantum revelation. And yet, it is the step most seekers resist, because it demands not just a shift in thought, but a shift in identity. Up until now, you may have seen yourself as someone trying to manifest, someone striving to pull a dream from possibility into reality. But listen carefully, that very identity, the one who is trying, is the obstacle. Trying is lack. Trying is separation. As long as you identify as the one who is reaching, you cannot become the one who has already received. This is why manifestation so often feels like struggle. You are still wearing the old mask, still carrying the old identity, and then wondering why the new life refuses to arrive. It is not because you are unworthy. It is not because the universe is silent. It is because the quantum field responds not to what you ask for, but to what you embody. Imagine two versions of yourself: the current self, with doubts, fears, waiting, hoping, and the expanded self, already living the life you long for, already radiating confidence, joy, abundance. Both exist right now in parallel timelines. The question is not, how do I get there? The question is, which version will I choose to identify with? This is the shift. Stop trying to pull your dream down into your current state of being, and instead rise into the state of being that matches your dream. Pause for a moment. Place your hand on your heart, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what would the version of me who already lives this reality choose right now? That simple question is the practice that changes everything. It might seem too simple, but understand the mechanics. Each choice is a frequency vote. Each thought, emotion, and action you take is a broadcast into the field. When you act as the one who is waiting, you collapse into the waiting timeline. When you act as the one who has, you collapse into the having timeline. This is not pretending, this is embodying. Pretending says, I will fake it until it happens. Embodying says, it has already happened in the field. I am aligning with it now. Think of the caterpillar and the butterfly. The caterpillar does not become the butterfly by wishing. It dissolves, surrenders, and allows a new identity to emerge. From the outside, it looks like death, but in truth, it is birth. The same is true for you. To step into your breakthrough, the old identity must dissolve. Yes, this feels uncomfortable. Yes, the old self will resist. But discomfort is the sign that transformation is occurring. The walls are crumbling because a new house is being built. Visualize this with me. Imagine your current self as a figure cloaked in shadows, standing before a radiant version of you bathed in divine white light. Between you stretches a luminous thread. As you breathe, you step closer. Each choice, each thought, each surrender brings you nearer until the light envelops you, dissolving the shadows, fusing the two selves into one. That moment, the merging, is the identity shift. This is the hidden key, not waiting for proof, not hoping for signs, but choosing, moment by moment, to live as the one who already has. And here is where practice becomes powerful. Tomorrow morning, when you wake, do not ask, "How will I make this happen?" Ask, "How does the version of me who already lives this act today?" And then live from that answer. Walk like them, speak like them, decide like them, not as performance, but as alignment. So, let me ask you now, are you willing to release the old identity, the struggler, the doubter, the seeker, and step into the one who naturally receives? If yes, type these words in the comments below as your declaration: "I choose to embody my expanded self." Do not just write it. Let every letter be a vibration, every keystroke a pulse of frequency. This is your conscious choice, your signal to the field. I am no longer waiting, I am being. Because in the end, identity is destiny. The one you choose to embody becomes the one you live. So who are you choosing now? Every hero's journey has a final guardian at the gate. Every myth, every story, every transformation arc includes this exact moment, the trial right before the treasure. And now, it is your turn. If you have felt things becoming harder, heavier, even chaotic, do not mistake this for failure. It is not punishment. It is not a sign you are off path. It is the opposite. It is resistance. And resistance is proof that you are right at the threshold of your breakthrough. Think about it. The caterpillar, in its cocoon, dissolves into chaos before the butterfly emerges. The seed must break its shell, pushing through dark soil before it reaches the light. The night is always darkest before the dawn. This is not just poetry. It is quantum mechanics. Systems in transition always pass through disorder before reorganization. Right before water turns into ice, it vibrates in turbulence. Right before your identity shift stabilizes, your old patterns will fight to hold on. And here is the paradox. The closer you get to your new reality, the louder the old reality becomes. Have you noticed it? Unexpected distractions pulling your attention away. Old fears resurfacing, relationships testing your boundaries, sudden doubts whispering in your mind. Maybe this isn't working. Maybe nothing is changing. Maybe you should give up. This is the test of resistance. It is not the universe against you. It is the last echo of your old frequency, doing everything it can to keep you anchored in the familiar. Not because it is evil, but because it is comfortable. The old self does not want to die. It clings, it resists, it tries to pull you back. You must recognize this moment for what it is. Not a setback, but a signal. Not a failure, but the final gateway. Visualize it like this. You are standing before a swirling vortex of shadow. The light of your future self shines just beyond it, calling you forward. The shadows are loud, chaotic, intimidating. But they are only smoke. They cannot harm you. They are illusions designed to test your choice. Will you turn back in fear, or will you step forward in trust? This is why so many stop right before their miracle. They misinterpret the resistance as a sign to quit, when in truth it is a sign to keep going. Let me tell you a story. A woman spent years visualizing her dream career. Finally, an opportunity arrived, but just before the offer was finalized, her life fell into chaos. Her car broke down, her health flared up, her closest friend turned against her. Overwhelmed, she nearly gave up, believing she was cursed. But she chose differently. She stayed grounded, trusted the process, and days later, the offer came through, an opportunity bigger than she had ever imagined. Looking back, she realized the chaos wasn't punishment. It was the final purge of her old reality, clearing space for the new. This is what you must understand. Resistance is not the enemy. Resistance is the signal that your quantum field is reorganizing. Here's how to navigate it. Do not fight the resistance. Fighting creates more struggle. Acknowledge it like clouds passing in the sky. Temporary, not permanent. Anchor into your expanded identity. Ask, what would my future self choose in this moment? Then act from that. Hold the frequency. Even when evidence is absent, hold the vibration of trust. This is how coherence is maintained. Turn chaos into confirmation. Each distraction, each doubt, each obstacle is proof you are at the gate. Smile at them. Whisper, "Thank you for showing me how close I am." And when you do, something extraordinary happens. The resistance loses its power. The shadows dissolve. The old frequency collapses. And suddenly, you find yourself stepping into clarity, into alignment, into the reality that was waiting all along. This is why mystics call it the dark night of the soul. Not because it destroys you, but because it strips away what you are not. Pause here. Feel into your own life. Where is resistance showing up for you right now? Where are you being tested? Instead of fearing it, can you reinterpret it? Can you see it not as a wall, but as a doorway? If you can, you have already passed the test. So take a breath, ground yourself, and declare with me, I choose to step through resistance. Type it below if you are ready. Make it your signal, your conscious vote for the new reality. Because the truth is, the test is never about the obstacle. The test is always about you, about your identity, about who you choose to be in the face of it. And when you choose to stand firm in trust, you activate the final stage. The quantum coherence stabilizes, the field reorganizes, the threshold dissolves, and then the new reality emerges. There comes a point in every transformation where the storm quiets, the resistance fades, and something utterly new begins to reveal itself. That point is now. You have walked through the breakdown. You have sat in the sacred pause. You have released control, connected with your future self, shifted your identity, and stood firm in the face of resistance. And now the field responds. This is not abstract. This is physics. It is the principle of phase transition. Think of water turning into ice. For a long time, the water looks the same, even as energy is building. Molecules vibrate faster and faster, and then, in a single instant, the structure reorganizes. Liquid becomes solid. A new state of matter is born. Think of a caterpillar dissolving into chaos inside its cocoon. For weeks, it is nothing but formless fluid. And then, suddenly, cells reorganize, wings unfurl, and the butterfly emerges. You are undergoing the same process. Your consciousness has reached critical mass. The energy you have cultivated, the choices you have made, the frequency you have held, all of it has been building. And now the threshold has been crossed. Welcome to emergence. The moment reality shifts. It may not look dramatic at first. Sometimes breakthroughs whisper instead of roar. You wake up one morning and the heaviness is gone. A problem that haunted you feels irrelevant. An opportunity arrives out of nowhere. A conversation opens a door you never saw before. This is not coincidence. It is coherence. In physics, when two oscillating systems synchronize, it is called phase locking. Your current frequency has been syncing with the frequency of your desired reality. At first, the signal was faint, overpowered by noise, but you kept choosing, kept embodying, kept trusting, and now the synchronization is complete. Your expanded reality has locked in. Visualize this, the galaxy itself opening like a flower, spiraling light threads weaving a new pattern around you, the divine white light flooding through the cracks of your old identity, dissolving everything that no longer serves. And at the center, you, not striving, not waiting, but radiating. Emergent properties. Here is the beauty of emergence. It always brings surprises. Just as ice has properties water never had, your new reality reveals gifts you did not know existed. New abilities, new perspectives, new opportunities that your old self could not even perceive. This is why breakthroughs feel miraculous. It is not that you forced the universe to bend. It is that you shifted into a configuration where what you desire is simply natural. Imagine walking into a room where the radio is already playing your favorite song. You didn't create the music, you tuned to the frequency where it was already playing. That is manifestation, that is emergence. And now, watch what happens. The synchronicities cascade. The right book falls into your hands. The chance meeting changes everything. The job, the partner, the opportunity arrives by luck. But you know it is not luck. It is alignment. It is the quantum field delivering what has always been seeking you. Integration, living the new identity. But emergence is not the end. It is the beginning. The real work now is integration. Stabilizing your expanded identity so it becomes your natural baseline. Here is how. Daily choice. Each morning ask, what would the version of me who already has this choose? Then live that answer. This is not about pretending. It is about coherence. Embodied frequency. Let your body express your new reality. Walk slower, with confidence. Breathe deeper. Smile, as if supported. These micro-expressions anchor your nervous system into the new frequency. Gratitude as amplifier. Not gratitude to get more, but gratitude as recognition. Appreciation that you live in an abundant universe that always provides. This recognition amplifies coherence. Inspired action. Stay sensitive to the nudges, calls to move, to speak, to act. These are not random. They are transmissions from your expanded self. Follow them without overthinking. Guard against decoherence. The danger after emergence is slipping back into old patterns by seeking proof. Do not collapse the wave too soon. Trust the process. Let reality stabilize. The collective dimension. Here is something even greater. Your emergence is not just personal. Every time one person steps into their expanded identity, it strengthens the collective morphic field, making it easier for others to do the same. You are not just manifesting a life. You are contributing to humanity's evolution. Visualize this. Thousands of light threads stretching from you into the galaxy, connecting with others who are also awakening. A network of consciousness glowing brighter, shifting the collective frequency of the planet. This is why your breakthrough matters. It is not selfish. It is service. The final visual. See yourself now standing at the threshold, no longer. The threshold has dissolved. You are inside the light. Around you, the galaxy blooms. Above you, the divine light pours down. Within you, the future self and the present self have merged into one radiant being. You walk forward, not into something foreign, but into something deeply familiar. Because this reality is not new. It has always been here, waiting for you to remember. And as you step into it, you realize the search is over. The waiting is over. You are not becoming. Declaration. Take one more deep breath. And if these words resonate, type your declaration below. I am the emergence. I am the new reality, not as a wish, not as a hope, but as a recognition of what already is. This is your final signal, your conscious choice, your vote in the quantum field. And from this moment forward, everything changes. Take a breath. Let everything you've just heard settle into your body. Because this was not just information, it was transmission. You now know the distance between you and your dreams is not measured in time. It is measured in frequency, and frequency can shift in an instant. Every breakdown you endured, every pause you sat in, every surrender you practiced, every signal you felt from your future self, every resistance you overcame, it has all led to this moment. You are not standing on the edge anymore. You have already crossed. Remember this truth. Everything you have been seeking has already been seeking you. The seeming gap between you and your desires was never separation. It was alignment waiting to happen. And now, that alignment is here. But emergence is not the finish line. It is the beginning of a new way of living. A way where synchronicities are natural, abundance is normal, and miracles are daily. Your role now is simple. Embody it. Live as if it is already true, because it is. If this transmission resonated with you, type your declaration below. I am already living my new reality, not as hope, as remembrance. And if you want to stay tuned to this frequency, subscribe, not to this channel only, but to this vibration, this way of being. Every time you return here, you reinforce the signal. You strengthen your coherence. If you felt this message in your heart, share it. When you share, you are not just sending a video. You are amplifying a frequency into the collective field. You become part of the ripple that shifts humanity forward. And stay close, because in the next transmission we will reveal a truth that will completely change how you see manifestation, why it actually works backwards, and why that makes it effortless. Until then, remember, you are already what you are seeking, and your only task is to live from that knowing.